Hey guys, this is Super Adventure here, back at it with another tabletop video. This is not a review of anything, but more of an introduction to the world of FPV for newcomers. I'm still fairly new, and there were a lot of things that I wish I would have known back when I started. There's a lot of videos out there right now, there's a lot of videos made by more reputable people. You could watch theirs, and then you could watch mine as like a backup, with like further information. I feel like there are a lot of things that they don't really touch up on, and that's what I'm here for. So the main question is, what is an FPV? What is FPV, and what is an FPV drone, and why do we love it? This is a full-size FPV drone. This is a 6-inch drone with 5-inch props. I haven't got the props screwed down. That's why this is kind of freely moving, but yeah, so this is a main drone. There are a lot of components that go into it. There are actually a lot of components that go into it that I will be talking about more further in detail, because this is going to be a multiple part video series for all the newbies out there. So what is it and why do we love it so much? This is a drone that is not tied down by anything. This is a very versatile, very quick piece of video equipment, basically. It can go upside down, do flips, do rolls, stay in one position upside down if you want, and keep going. It's a very active drone compared to a DJI or any other drone where you click a button and it kind of stays there. This is not like that. You have to actually have active control with your remote or transmitter. Compared to a DJI drone, this is far more versatile because it can go way faster, I believe. My drone can go up to 90 some miles an hour at full throttle. That's really pretty quick. But one thing that you may not know or may be surprised about is the fact that battery life is very low. With DJI drones, you usually get about 15 minutes, I'm pretty sure, a flight time. This, you get 3. This is kind of it's more powerful, and that's why you only get 3 minutes. But that's for a later discussion. But yeah, what is it? It's an amazing cinematic tool, or toy, actually. I use it mainly as a toy. There are other drones. There's another drone that I'm actually thinking about making. Called a Cinewhoop. I'll put a picture up on the display. I actually have the parts coming in, and I'm going to be making one of these. Those are mainly meant for slower, more composed videos, more steady, slow videos. This is more of a freestyle drone, or if you want to actively chase something really quickly, or if you just want to have some fun, you know what I mean? This right here is also an FPV drone. This is very small. And it's about the same size as my battery that goes on the big one, actually. This is a drone meant for beginners, or if you just want to have some fun inside the house and be safe around pets or other human beings. This will chop your hands. This spins way too fast to be around soft targets such as humans or animals. But now that you have a basic introduction and understanding of what you can expect from an FPV drone, being as it's very quick, very versatile, very accurate if you're a good pilot, now we can start discussing things that you probably don't know, such as the hidden costs. This drone alone without the battery costs around $150. $150 may sound like a lot of money, but just wait until you actually hear about the additional costs, the hidden costs that come with it. What you need to start is a drone, couple of batteries. These batteries can run expensive. This is a 4S battery, 4-cell battery. Extra props because you're probably going to ding them. A transmitter. This right here is a transmitter. These can run you about, if in the used market, you could probably get these for around $70 to $100, and brand new, you can get these for about $100 to $150 or $200, or actually way more if you actually want to get the really good ones. Even with this, there are a lot of things that you can actually spend extra money on. And then next, the other thing that you need to get up in the air, not just your drone or a transmitter, but also a pair of goggles. These are the goggles that I have right here. These are my own goggles. These are Fat Shark goggles. These are more of the higher end goggles. I actually have a rapid fire piece module here that can cost extra. These are all hidden costs, but these three things, the drone, the goggles, the transmitter, are things that you actually need in order to get up in the air. And also batteries. Currently, my setup is looking like it costs quite a hefty penny, but I started off with a budget of under $500, and that is more than possible. But keep in mind, you always will be replacing your parts. I'm not trying to scare you away from FPV. I'm trying to tell you the truth. The truth is, you will always break your drone, and you always have to replace something. These things are not like tanks. They're not built like tanks. They're built quite fragile, actually. So being as it's built fragilely, you actually have to constantly replace things. But as I said, I start off with $150 drone. I ended up replacing pretty much everything in this drone within the first 2 months, because as I'm new, I keep crashing, and I keep learning that there are better ways to mount things, which I will talk about in later episodes. And the cost just keeps going up and up and up and up. Motors I probably replaced around 5 or 6 times. At one point, I decided, screw this, I'm going to buy a more expensive pair of motors that will actually be slightly more durable. The flight controller I burned. The VTX I've burned. The camera, still original camera, so that's good. The frame, I've had to, this is actually pretty jerry-rigged right here. It's kind of janky. I broke this part, but I actually had to tape it back together. But in summary, I don't want to keep rambling on. In summary, in terms of hidden costs, are going to be extra batteries, because you probably want more flight time, 3 minutes roughly around per pack. Goggles, definitely you want to invest in a good pair, because those will never break, so it's good to invest in a good pair of goggles. Good transmitter, because that is something that you're going to get really used to muscle memory wise. So you want to get a good transmitter right off the bat. That way you'll remember your stick feel and everything for forever, because that's never going to break. And if you want a GoPro mount, you got to invest in a GoPro or a GoPro mount to get HD footage, because the footage you get out of this drone is crappy. It's quite analog, the footage that you actually see. Next thing I want to talk about is difficulty. People had told me that this is a difficult hobby. It's quite a difficult thing to do, but however much difficult you think it is, double that, because it's not how you would conventionally fly a drone, which is kind of like you press a button and it kind of stays there, or it can hover. This you constantly have to be putting in throttle. You have to be managing it on every axis, this axis, and this axis, while also maintaining your level. It's definitely something you have to get used to. I highly suggest you get a transmitter like the one I showed you, and get a long wire that is compatible with your transmitter, and then buy Liftoff or one of the other games that you can get. Those are technically quote-unquote games, but it's more of a simulator, because then you'll actually get to have some experience under your belt and actually know how everything works. You know what I mean? Most people, they get super excited to build a drone. They've never flown a drone before. They go and crash it and they give up. If you actually want to enjoy the hobby, you actually have to start spending some time and putting in some actual work into getting better before you actually build your drone. I highly suggest you don't buy a drone, don't build a drone, go get a transmitter. I know it might be very exciting to go build your drone and actually see some footage going around your house or something, but no, I highly suggest go get a transmitter, get a long wire that's compatible with your transmitter, buy Liftoff or another game, that whichever game you want. There's like 3 main ones. And try it out. If you see that there's no way you can learn it, and you don't want to spend the time to learn it, then don't do it. Like, that's just how it is. There are times even after I've learned it, I was like, oh man, I've been crashing so much, I'm gonna quit. But no, it's really fun if you maintain it and you keep going at it and you keep learning. I'm still learning. You can see my flight footage. It's a slow progression, but it's a progression. And it's fun. It's a great hobby. But you have to, I would suggest not going in headfirst and actually trying the simulator out, practicing on the simulator, getting decent, and then going out and building your first drone. Now, I say building your drone. You can go out and buy your own pre-built drone. That's very, very fun. Like, you can do that. They come pre-tuned, pre-built, but building your own can be very helpful, because you will have to do repairs pretty much every time you go. Not every time you go, but pretty much every time you go. There will be something that kind of breaks. There will be something that may like big time break, and you kind of want to know how to put it back together. Because if you put it together, you know exactly where everything goes, and you'll be able to, know what's going on, know what's wrong, and everything. Whereas if you buy a pre-built drone, they build the drone, you have no technical knowledge whatsoever of what's going on or what exactly is that's broken. And you'll have to pay someone else to fix it, or you'll have to be scratching your head and like day in and day out and trying to figure out what's broken yourself. And I highly suggest you build your drone. But before all that, I kind of do also suggest your first drone being something small like this. That way you can fly it indoors. That way you can practice much quicker, and the batteries charge much faster, and the batteries are much cheaper. Everything's much cheaper. You get a transmitter that you like. You get one of these small drones. This is the iFlight A65. This cost me around $100. But it's great. It's great for indoors. You can bang it around your walls. You can bang it into a glass window. It won't break. You can bang it into your cat. They won't get hurt. Like, this is a very gentle flying drone. Yeah, so all the while, I highly suggest starting off with the simulator, buying one of these small drones, practicing with the small drones until you actually get pretty good. You don't have to buy this exact same small drone. I'll put a bunch of options on the screen. And then migrating to this. All drones will fly differently, so there's going to be a learning curve between the game and this, and between this and this. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. That's all my warnings. I would say use the same transmitter, buy a good transmitter right off the bat if you want, and buy a good pair of goggles after you play on the simulator. I highly suggest getting a transmitter first and a simulator. Simulator will cost you max $20. I think Liftoff was like $20, max $20. And if you decide you don't like it, you could sell the transmitter. And if you do like it, go ahead, buy your pair of goggles, a good pair of goggles, and buy one of these or another small drone. And if you want to go ahead first, you can go ahead and buy a cheap Tyro 79 or Tyro 99. Those are two 3-inch drone options, but you do have to build it yourself. But they're under $100. This will still cost you $100, but you can fly it indoors. The batteries are cheap, and everything. But yeah, that's my suggestion. Those are my warnings as well. Hidden costs include, I'm going to repeat, I guess, summary of the whole video. Hidden costs include extra batteries, repairing all your parts all the time. Pretty much be prepared to place at least a $20 order or something every time you come back. Not every time, but be prepared to, like, don't be upset that you actually have to place an order for something, because it will happen. Yeah, hidden costs include that. The goggles can get quite expensive. Transmitter can get quite expensive. But after you get those two main things and you decide you like the hobby, those will stay put. Like, you don't have to replace them or do anything to them. Unless you want to increase range, then you can do a bunch of mods to them and stuff. But I think the biggest hidden costs are everything. People think you can just get a drone, that's it. It may come with a battery or something like a DJI. You know what I mean? Like a DJI drone, you buy the drone, it comes with batteries, it comes with a charger, it comes with the remote. No, this is separate. It's kind of DIY. So yeah, the next video, I'll start talking about individual components. If you are interested in building your own drone, I will talk about each and every component in an individual video in the future. That way I can give you further information about each thing. People have actually been making a bunch of videos on YouTube about this, like, each individual part, but I think there are a lot of things that people kind of forget about, and then you actually end up having to go on Reddit or going on forums and asking questions to try and find which one's good for you. I will try to cover everything about everything in each individual video. If you want a quick list of parts that you can start Googling right now, if you're interested in building your own drone right off the bat, even though I warned you not to, you got your motors, you got your propellers, you got your battery, you got your drone frame, you got your camera, either CCD or CMOS, you got your VTX, you got your antennas, you got your transmitter, and you got your flight controller and ESC. These are all components. I feel like I left one out, but a VTX, I say VTX. these are all components. And that may sound like a lot of components because it is. And I will try to go in detail on each individual component in each individual video, because this is going to be a very long series of episodes. Not episodes, videos. But yeah, hopefully my ramble gave you some information, helpful information that you may not have heard from other people. You possibly have, because there are a bunch of FPV videos out there. And I appreciate you staying till the end. And if you have any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer them in the comments below. If you have any questions about anything about drone related, I will try to answer it to the best of my ability. I'm not gonna like BS some answer. If I don't know it, I'll tell you I don't know it, or like give you proper referral to something else. But yeah, thank you for watching. Remember to leave a comment, like, and subscribe for more videos, FPV informational videos, tutorials, or just normal flying, even though my flying's not A game. I'm still learning. But yeah, thank you for watching.